All of a sudden, my phone rings, and it's from a Tampa number, whatever it was, and I answer the phone, and I'm like, hello. He goes, what's going on, brother? I'm like, Terry? And he goes,
so
yeah.
good.
And I'm like,
he's going Terry.
Yeah, you're going Terry on him, man.
Terry's
Hulk
Hulk Hogan.
First name
I was
basis?
being professional, man.
Give me a break.
Mr. Hulkster? What do you want me to say?
Hulk.
Right.
Come on, man.
He's like, how you doing, brother? I'm like, I'm saying my prayers, eat my vitamins. What do you want me to say?
The most interesting thing I learned from him, though, because we're sports people, I asked him, because he's limping around like Earl Campbell. I mean, he's in bad shape, surgeries. And I said, it kind of frustrates me because I've been around athletes. You've really given everything you have to your sport, and people think it's fake. And he looked at me and said, here's the problem. They should have branded it. This is predetermined, but it's not fake.
Right.
And I think people would respect more how athletic.
The physicality is there.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
It was incredible.
Amazing talents. And entertainers, too. It's not just playing
Still
a game.
today. They
Mic
still
skills. You got to have the mic skills.
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Yeah.
Once I get those, I'll finally make it in this
Tell you
business,
what.
Harry.
And Jimmy Hart was there, too, so that was fun.
You got some promise here, man.
David, great to see you, man.
Great
Thank
to
you.
see
Sorry
you.
that confusion with the Hunt auctions.
Hey,
It was actually
illuminate.
my fault.
I mean,
See, when you have like the rundown schedule of 11 people, and I put it in front of him, and then something is off, and he thought he
I'm
had
a
it all.
fine-tuned machine.
Yes.
Well, at least I've lost weight where he didn't say John Lovitz is on the
No, I never did that.
Oh, Jesus.
I knew who you were.
Everyone's a critic. You
I
get-
knew who you
get it,
were.
love it.
I just had you confused with another business that
Yeah.
you used to be
I
involved
was,
in.
and I was very closely involved with that. So
Absolutely. And they do great work, too, for charity. And they do have Reggie
And actually,
White stuff.
yeah, Tony's really excited because of the Reggie White stuff this year.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. I'm so glad compared to Minnesota last year, though. Look
Yes.
at all this space that we have.
I know.
Remember?
Right?
We were in a closet last year.
It was. Well, I liked being in the mall. I loved having all the fans being able to be right there, but it was just not enough space.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I wouldn't mind having a Shake Shack right here, 12.
No, that's
you
true.
know what I'm saying?
Well, we got the CNN Center downstairs where they have all the food, the food court. And people don't know the CNN Center in the basement is a food court.
Right.
Oh, I got to tell the boys we're going right
Well, we
now.
need to get Romanowski to bring us by some more shakes.
I think I saw Wolf
some lean
Blitzer doing the
luncheons.
breakfast shift over at Chick-fil-A. So you know they're really intertwined.
It was
there
a
at CNN.
situation.
It was
I'm
a
hungry
situation room. All right, we got to let David go because he's got to get out of here. Thank you,
so
sir.
much.
Great to see you.
Thank you
David
all.
Meltzer, ladies and gentlemen. Beautiful, man.
Thank you so much.
When I retire, maybe I could be a part of your posse. I'll stop doing radio and I'll walk around and then I'll give people the wrap-up signals when they've gone too long. Is that good? Now, who's really in charge of wrapping up? But how come you didn't give me any wrap-up signals? All right, thank you. I like that. We actually have music if I go too long, like
Right,
the Oscars.
like the Oscars,
They start
yeah.
playing music to get me out. Thanks, guys. Take care. Here we are, Radio Row. Luigi's here. He's having fun.
That was
Absolutely.
fun.
That was great.
That was great.
Yeah.
And C.J. Anderson, you talk about the right. That's what guys like David Meltzer do. They get the right guys at the right time, right? And they realize this guy could have a huge impact because he did.
Yeah.
The amazing thing in Denver, he was good.
There's a possibility that
could
he
be the
could
Super
be the
Bowl.
MVP of the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
Think about it.
Very strong
Yeah.
possibility. And we got to get some odds on that, too, because I'd like to put
Well,
a few bucks on it.
they're out.
I mean, it's funny, too, because he goes from Denver being a Pro Bowl running back. Then they have a few younger guys with Booker, who actually got phased out because Philip Lindsay came in and took over the starting job and never let it go. But C.J. Anderson goes to Carolina, who they get to back up Christian McCaffrey.
Yep.
That takes, some of the load off of him because they weren't sure that McCaffrey could be an every down back. He proved he could be. And I think C.J. Anderson ended up having maybe 25 touches total when he was in Carolina. You're talking about a Pro Bowl back who was barely even used going to a new team. Then he gets shipped, like you said, then he gets sent out of there, goes to Oakland. Injuries happen, gets picked up off the scrap heap, and like Harry just said, could end up being the Super Bowl MVP.
Exactly. I could be the Super Bowl MVP, too.
You're the real MVP.
Well, thank you.
Appreciate that.
Actually, no, Ruth is because she's making us breakfast every morning at our Airbnb. Now, how are your Airbnbs all straightened out now?
Well, it's as straightened out as it's going to get. Let's just put it that way.
Did you call the Airbnb management ownership?
No, I did not. See, because I didn't make the reservation.
Who made the reservation?
I can't disclose any names
Okay.
at this point in time. I want to keep them protected.
So can you say about them, like, without naming any names, that you are
I am pissed off. I was, sincerely, last night.
but you've calmed it down now?
I've calmed it down.
You're back on the rail, so
Yeah.
to speak?
Oh, we actually have Harry right here when he got to the Airbnb.
Ah, you motherfucker.
Wow.
He was angrier than that.
He was pissed.
C.J. Anderson is 20-1 for the MVP.
I was going to say,
There's some good value
I was gonna say,
right
if he's
there.
21, you got to throw at least,
Yeah.
what, 10, 20 bucks on that?
Yeah,
just to
why
take it?
not?
No, you got to put at least 10 grand on that.
Yeah. I mean, Gurley's 16-1, according to what I'm
CJ's
looking
only
at right
21?
now. Yeah.
Well, I think I mean, I don't know if we're getting into the picks part of it, but right now I'm feeling the Pats. I like the Patriots to win this thing outright.
It's a little early.
It is a little early.
It's never too
It's a little
early.
I let it marinate, but I don't let it marinate as long. I like to get on the stove immediately, as fast as possible, because that money line starts to go up.
And you know, Brandon Lang yesterday said all the sharps were in early on the -1, -1. It started off, remember, as Ram favorite,
basically pick 'em,
and then it went to Patriots 1, 1.5, 2, 2.5.
Right.
But he says they're not going to make it go to 3.
But if it does,
then you got the middle opportunities. You got winning on both sides. If it's a 3-point game,
right.
Vegas is going to get slaughtered.
Now, what was that Super Bowl where we got crushed in? Was that a Dallas Super Bowl where that line went and someone like the betting
middle? Dallas hasn't been in a Super Bowl for so long.
That's right.
I wasn't even gambling back then. You know that?
That's true.
Seriously.
I was there. It was in Phoenix, Arizona, at Sun Devil Stadium, and it was the most memorable thing about it, not just Larry Brown becoming the MVP, it was Super Bowl XXX.
Oh, that's right.
XXX. And then DMX took it, and then what's his name did?
Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel became XXX.
And as
not Triple H.
No, not
like
Triple H. I like Triple H, too.
Now, as I said a couple weeks ago, this is my second Super Bowl. It's going to be Tony Romo's first.
Exactly.
So
right,
think
yes.
about that. Let that sink in for
Right.
a moment, okay? I've got more Super Bowl experience than Tony Romo does.
I have equal experience.
There you go.
I've never
Exactly.
been. This is my first one.
You're on the level, Harry.
Yeah. Incredible.
Really? This is your first?
It's the first one.
Yeah, at least Jason
Wow.
Garrett didn't hold you back.
Now, if you see up here to our left,
Yes.
right, and to your right, Tony and Luigi, Super
Yes.
Bowl 39 banner. That was the Eagles against the
Jacksonville.
in Jacksonville against the Patriots.
Correct.
That was the
2004.
Donovan. You can still see the puke on the field.
Yes, you can.
Where
There's a
Donovan
spot there.
McNabb.
And I've waited all this time to give Greg Lewis one of these for covering the number. With that late touchdown.
Little backdoor action.
Thank you very much.
Exactly. Don't get me started on that. Now you're going to get me in trouble.
What? On backdoor
Well,
action?
backdoor
Yeah.
action.
Come on, we're in Atlanta, bro.
I hear you,
You
man.
take
Players
it when you
play.
can get it.
There'll be plenty of that going on this weekend. Just be safe out there and be careful, all right?
Wrap that rascal.
Wrap that rascal. In fact, I would double bag it.
Tony,
this
who
week.
were you on with earlier? Were you on with NBC Sports earlier? Or were you on with CBS when we walked in here? You were doing a hit on some TV.
No, I was on with Fox Sports Radio.
Fox Sports Radio, okay.
Because I was presenting the Tony Bruno Award to
Clay Travis.
Clay Travis,
Yeah.
not Travis Tritt,
Right.
not
He's still around, though, Travis.
Travis Tritt
Yeah.
still around. And one of those like country shows where they spin the chair around and somebody's singing some country song,
Probably.
and they decide whether they want to help the guy. What's that?
Blake Shelton.
Blake Shelton.
Blake Shelton, yes.
Yeah, Blake Shelton's on The Voice.
But isn't there's a country version of that show too on like
Oh, there is?
Great
on
American
CNT,
Country.
on country music television?
No, Great American Country, GMA, not Good Morning America.
I want to say the next Great American Country singer or something like that.
I don't know. They all wear a cowboy hat, so I
Yeah.
can't tell them apart. Except Kenny Chesney, who wears that straw hat thing,
Yeah,
whatever that's
he's
called.
sort of it's sort of a floppier hat.
Yeah.
Like not a
Meanwhile,
rigid
I have some
cowboy hat.
updates. I have breaking news on the show today.
Sports news or
It's a sports/political update.
oh boy.
You don't get many of those. This isn't opinion. This is fact. So before you get ready to go crazy and get triggered, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who is a wrestler, if you haven't missed him, and an actor.
Right. Does a movie a week.
Right.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
It's like asking who Samuel L. Jackson is. Jesus, let somebody else work, Sam.
Can you smell what The Rock is cooking? He has announced today, I'm not making this up, he will not rule out running for president of the United States after 2020.
Okay.
So he's the first person who's not throwing his hat in the ring for 2020. The Democrats already have like 50 candidates announced.
Yeah.
But The Rock, people have been asking The Rock, hey, you want to be president? People would vote for. Would you vote
I
for
got
The Rock?
it. The Brahma Bull for 2024.
2024.
So
Who would
he's-
his running mate be?
Hey, Eddie, how you doing, man?
I don't know. Maybe
No?
DDP. Maybe when we get Diamond
Right.
Dallas Page is coming on in our next segment.
Eddie George popped in right behind us right now, Tony. He's on the other side, Tony. Turn
Oh,
around the
right
other way.
Yeah, he's
There's
right-
only two
right
sides
behind
to you. There's
You
one
mean
on the-
behind me?
Yes, behind you.
Yeah, be the other side.
Turn around,
Yeah.
Tony.
Turn around the
Just
other
turn around
side.
the other way, Tony.
No,
No, there.
Jesus, man.
There's no other way.
Yes,
Yes, there is.
That way.
There
Yes,
you go.
right there.
There's a lot of people sat around.
Jesus
I don't have.
Christ.
I'm not. What's her face in?
Dumpster fire.
Yes. What's the chick that was in the movie where her head went around and she was poltergeist?
Oh, yeah. No,
No,
uh,
Carrie.
No.
Exorcist.
Oh, the
That
Exorcist.
was Linda
Oh,
Blair.
Okay, yeah,
When Linda Blair, her head
right.
went around and
Jesus.
she was spitting up double dare.
It was like
goop.
pea soup.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, I think you need to drink one of those Sky
I
Energies
need a
right
Sky
now.
Energy. I didn't get any coffee.
I need a slider. We got no food. Jack in the back
No,
supposed to
I
be
know.
waiting in line for food. He didn't get any food.
Well, it was like a mile long.
You gotta wait in
of
that line,
media
man.
slobs.
I know.
Those
waiting
sons
in
of
line.
bitches.
Now-
I hate
Media
the
hogs.
like
Media hogs.
farm animals
We
waiting
went-
to get a slider.
Speaking
Slider.
of Sky Energy, we really want to give all of our love, strength, and prayers to Ed Luiso's granddaughter. The reason why we don't have more of the Sky Energy here to give away to people is because his granddaughter's in the hospital undergoing a very complicated bone marrow transplant, had some complications. So all of our prayers are being sent to her.
Absolutely.
And we know what a fantastic product it is, and we will get the word out there somehow or another.
We got a tractor trailer making its way down
Yes.
with some Smokies.
Now,
It's getting a full police
we got
escort.
a reefer.
We got a
heading our
reefer
way.
on.
Now, how's Casey Kasem going to get back out of that dedication?
I have
He's
no
not.
My
idea.
God.
Jesus.
But we have Sky. I'm having it right now, and it's really good. It needs to be. It was cold earlier this morning, and then we came inside. Now it's warming up.
Hey, if Mark Summers gives it the,
He did. We had him taste test.
That was live.
It
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, I let people. That's how you know you taste stuff. And the other stuff all tastes the same, with all due respect. Every one of them, and Red Bull started it all, and then of course you got Rockstar. They're all
See, I
good
wasn't
products.
even gonna.
They're all good products, but they're all what they call they're clones because they're pretty much all the same ingredients.
Well, most of the people, and I don't mean to disparage here, that I see drinking the other types of drinks are all guys with flat brim hats, tattoos on their neck and face, and all kinds of piercings. Like,
mean-
that's not me. That I don't identify with those types of
But you
drinks.
don't have to be that way, Harry.
That's what I'm saying. This is different.
It
But
doesn't-
even those guys
even
would
if
like
you have
this.
like even if you have like a MS-13 on your face tattoo, you can drink Sky Energy.
What
drink.
about the 3 teardrops?
If you
Where
have
go in
teardrops? If you
Teardrop on the eye.
You know, we're going to Gratersford.
exactly.
All right?
If you can have Ludacris up on stage drinking this, and everybody would say, "Luda, what is that? What it is, man?
Now
What it is?"
we
We have a little
again,
Luda.
He's an Atlanta
We
guy,
call-
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but down here they call it crunk juice.
Well, yeah.
This
that's
is
what-
Crunk right now.
Where's Lil John when we need him?
Lil John's here.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
He's an ATL
Oh,
guy,
what?
right?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You kidding me?
Little John, Jermaine Dupri.
Migos. We get them on the
yeah.
show.
We got to bust a little Migos out today.
Yeah.
Luigi. You got any Migos in the house?
I can't get on the internet because Robin's on there.
That's
Okay.
the kind of guest we need right now.
Migos?
I got street cred in Atlanta.
Oh, you're deep in the streets, bro.
I'm
Luda.
deep. But you know, we played a lot of these Georgia songs yesterday, little tastes of all the great songs with Georgia in it, and it's unbelievable the number of songs there are. Yesterday we had, of course, Georgia by Ray Charles.
Right. Classic.
And Ludacris did his own version of that. Do you
He
know
did?
that? Yes.
Well, I know that's a timeless classic. that
It's not
song.
the same though. It's Luda's version of it.
No, but I'm
it's
saying
still
Ray
good.
Charles. That
Oh, yeah.
version's going to live forever.
And Gladys Knight, who's going to be singing the national anthem, did Midnight Train to Georgia.
Now, what is the time? What is the prop bet? Do we know what the
Yes,
time
the
is?
props are all out, and we'll run those down as we get deeper and into the Super Bowl week festivities and let it marinate. There's a lot of really ridiculous props, too.
Yes.
Ridiculous, because there's so many degenerate gamblers out there, they'll bet on anything, Harry. It's not just the normal, what's the head or tails on the coin flip. I mean, there's like, will Gladys Knight take a knee? I'm serious. Those are the props.
I like the cross sports props, like when they combine NBA.
Will LeBron play
Yeah.
more than
or like James Harden's points versus this
Yeah,
guy's
exactly.
rushing yards and all that kind of stuff.
They're trying to bring all the sports together, Harry.
Right.
All the degenerate gamblers together. So if you don't have a block pool at your party, you can get into these stupid prop bets.
I didn't get into one this year.
No?
I always get into at least one block pool.
Well, don't you just do that on Sunday, the day of the game?
No. You do
No?
it like a week prior.
Oh,
Start
okay.
pulling blocks.
That's bullshit, man. I don't
hear
do
you,
that.
bro. I hear you.
If I'm going to a party and the blocks are all filled, I'm
Yeah, I'm
walking
out.
right out of that sumbitch. I'm not going to a party where I get stuck with a stupid number I don't want, even though the number's not up yet.
5-9. There you go, Tone. 5-9.
2 and 2 sucks, dude.
Yeah, two. If you pull twos,
Yeah.
you may as well pull the gun out and say, I just pissed away another Super Bowl Sunday,
I've
kids.
never hit a block pool.
No.
Never?
I did for a quarter.
Yeah.
One of the quarters,
$25?
Yeah, it was. I forget. It
Or
was a nominal.
$2,500? What's a quarter these days? I don't even know.
No. The
No,
quarter.
the quarter,
It's
like
broken
the
out
end
into
of the
four
quarter.
Oh, I
at
thought
the
you
end of
meant,
the
you know,
quarter.
quarter was like,
I
you
looked out
one
and got
large.
like 7-7. You know.
Oh,
it
that's
was-
great.
Yeah, it was
Those are
lucky.
great numbers.
And
Just
you were
lucky.
drinking a 7 and 7, which is really, I think that was an omen, Harry.
Right.
The worst one ever was the that Denver Carolina Super Bowl. I mean, I'm sorry, not the Denver Carolina Super Bowl.
New England and Carolina,
New
right?
England, no, not New England Carolina. It was which one was it with the Peyton? It was
Carolina and Denver.
No, it was Carolina Denver, and I think the first score of the game was the
Safety.
Safety.
Yeah.
This is a safety, and the 2 came up and screwed like everything up.
Yeah.
But the odds for that was the first scoring play of the game would be a safety, yes or no, plus 10,000.
Wow.
Wait a minute.
The unlikelihood of it being a safety on the first play of the game is outrageous. What's the matter, Tony?
No, I'm just I'm trying to figure out who that player is over there. He's got a man bun, so Christian will know who he is, even though Christian doesn't have his man bun anymore.
Now, Tony, lots of people tuning in live on.
Any questions out there from the audience?
Well, there are questions, but we have a comment from the fabulous Jim Kozimor in the Bay Area.
Jim, of course, who, along with Bill Romanowski and I, were the triumvirate that brought you Raiders post-game live for multiple seasons.
Oh,
That
man.
is correct.
During the Lane Kiffin, Tom Cable, and, of course, the Hugh Jackson eras.
Well, he was enjoying watching the Mark Summers segment and said, tweeted out to all of his fans, if you want to have a course in how to do a radio show, click this link and enjoy. Tony Bruno is a national treasure.
Well, I haven't gotten. I wasn't even in the actual Book of Secrets, the National Treasure movies. How did what's his face?
Who starred in that? Was that Fraser guy?
No,
Brendan Fraser was.
No, it's
Brendan
called-
Fraser was in
The Mummy
The
or
Mummy.
The Mummies. Yeah, okay.
No,
Nick
that-
Cage. Nick Cage is
Oh,
the
is
guy.
it Nick
Nicolas Cage,
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Nick Coppola, actually. It's
Yes.
Nicolas Cage was in both National Treasure movies, and I wasn't in it. And even though they filmed the first one in Philadelphia. Remember
did?
that? Yeah, the first
No,
one.
I didn't see this.
Yeah, it was in Philadelphia.
I'm not going to see a Nicolas Cage movie.
No, it
don't
wasn't
have to-
bad though. I like those
The
movies.
last one I saw was Face Off.
Face Off's pretty good.
You know
Yeah,
who was
that
in it?
was
Howie
John
Long.
Travolta
Eve,
and
and
I hate
Howie
it,
Long was
one
in
of the
that
greatest
movie.
lines ever, though. It's like, Eve, I hate to see you go, but I love to watch you leave.
Yes.
That's a great line,
That
man.
is.
That Howie Long on a train, right? Weren't they on a train?
That was Broken Arrow.
Yeah.
Are you
Oh,
sure?
yes, absolutely.
Yeah, that's Broken Arrow. He's right.
So Howie Long wasn't in Face Off?
No, I don't think he was.
He was in Broken
No,
Arrow.
Broken Arrow.
That's good
Yeah.
Broken Arrow
I
knowledge
appreciate
right there.
that, Tony. Thank you.
I didn't see the Broken Arrow because I didn't even see the Indians.
There's some
So
great.
I mean, how would I know
come
there was an
on.
arrow there?
Come
It's
on.
Native Americans. Tony.
I know.
Now,
How you gonna say that?
There's some great YouTube stuff though of that Raiders post game stuff of you watching the game, getting ready. You're writing down your notes as you always do, copious notes.
Yep.
And you're watching it with Romanowski
And Jim Kozimor in the
Jim,
studio and the
you're-
producers.
And the Raiders are just getting crushed.
Yeah.
And you're like, this is just embarrassing. The Oakland Raiders offensive line is being manhandled. It's just
I never
it's-
saw that.
Oh yeah, it's great.
I posted. I totally forgot about
Oh,
that.
it's great.
Where is that?
It's on YouTube somewhere.
Dude.
I'll have to
This
find
is
it.
just embarrassing.
Hey, listen, they had a chance. I mean, the Hugh Jackson year.
They
the
went
one
8
year
and
he was-
8 that year.
Yeah, everybody
Yeah.
thought playoffs.
Was that Carson Palmer when they first got
Well, no, they
Carson?
got Carson Palmer, but they had Jason Campbell. Remember Jason
yeah.
Campbell,
He
the
was a
former
Redskin,
Washington Redskin,
Auburn.
high pick?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was
Went to the
playing
Raiders
well.
as well.
He was playing well, and then he got hurt, and then they bring in Carson Palmer, and that was it.
Yeah. Hugh
Yeah.
only lasted 1 year there, right?
1 year,
Yeah,
and he
yeah.
loved Al Davis, and it was hard for Al Davis to fire him. I think Al Davis died the year that Hugh Jackson was the coach
Oh,
that
the
one
Sun
year.
fired him then.
Yes.
Yeah.
But not Lane Kiffin. They had the overhead projector firing news conference. We were talking to Bill Romanowski about that the other day. The most bizarre firing news conference ever because it was the owner putting up slides, criticizing the coach, trying to find a way out, not having to pay him, and finding grounds to dismiss him for cause.
Wow.
And you've never seen that.
Sounds like a normal business, doesn't it?
It sounds like radio.
Yes,
It's like, we have a guaranteed contract, but we're going to fire your ass. Although that's never happened to me. I usually walk away before it gets to that
Yeah, I was
point.
gonna say you have a tendency to get out before.
I
you
usually tell them to stick this job, this organization, this entire stinking company.
See, that's the problem. I learned too much from him.
Exactly.
You
There's
know what
certain
I'm
things
saying?
you don't want to pick
oh,
up.
my God.
I do not. I have a principle, Harry. You hire me, you let me do what I do. Let me be me, as Randall Cunningham once said. Let me be me. Know what I do before you hire me? Then why don't you let me do it after you hire me? That's
Exactly.
why I do this show
Exactly
now.
right.
Because nobody, not even Robin,
Well, she tries.
she tries, but she tries to scold me. But
Right.
then she realizes who I am. And then I'll remind her, I'll say, Robin, do you know who I am? And then I'll have my name on my shirt so I need more Sky Energy. Christian, are you drinking Sky? No, he's drinking Pepsi.
Oh, wait, where the hell was I? I had this great drop for that, and I just freaking lost it.
Damn it.
I'm trying to get on the internet, and I can't get connected to Wi-Fi.
That's a problem.
It's a huge problem.
It's a problem here, but we had every year, so we
It's a
know
good
that.
thing the NFL charges people $1,000 for high-speed internet.
I only need to pull sound and stuff. It's no big deal.
When I could get dial-up.
It's fine.
I can get better dial-up right now. Do we have AOL here anywhere?
I think I could try to find.
I have it. It's back in my Airbnb.
Remember that from the old AOL chat rooms?
Oh yeah.
ASL.
Dude. You know who that is, right?
No.
That's Brian Brayman, I think. Who used
Brian
to play
Brayman.
for
Is
the
that
Eagles.
right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Remember Brian Brayman?
Yeah.
We had him on the show last year.
He
Played
was
for
a
the
special teams player.
Yeah,
right?
he was a great
Yeah,
special teams
yeah.
player. And then I think he went to Houston. I don't know where he went.
Yeah.
Wherever he went.
I got some dirt on him though.
You
Oh,
do?
yeah?
Good stuff?
No,
Who doesn't?
I mean, come on,
I mean,
that's
who
the
doesn't?
NFL.
Bad, man. It's bad.
Over Radio Row.
Still ahead on the show. Dallas Diamond Page is going to join us in a couple of minutes.
Or Diamond Dallas Page.
What did
Whichever
I say?
you prefer.
Dallas Diamond Page?
Dallas Diamond Page. But you say whatever way you want, Tony.
I
It
think
works.
you knew a Dallas Diamond.
Do a diamond.
I might have to
I may
do it.
have to have
I
him
might go
drop you with a diamond cutter right here. I think that would be great entertainment value.
You think so, Tony?
Not just for the people watching us on our live video stream, but for the entire media. In fact, I'd like to see the media all surround this area here on Radio Row and spray him with cutter insecticide.
What in God's holy name are you blathering about?
Seriously, man, you need a diamond cutter, bro.
You know, there's a country called Qatar. But
There
it looks,
is.
It looks
You know
like
what?
Qatar.
Before, before DDP comes on,
Yes,
why don't we take
Austin P fight song?
5-minute intermission,
The governors.
and you can
Yes.
grab something to eat really, really quick, and DDP will be right back.
But you know what they say at Austin P, right? The university at their basketball games. What's
You're
the chant,
cutting into
Harry?
your pee time here.
What do they chant, Harry?
I forget.
Let's go pee.
Oh, yes.
Let's go pee.
Oh.
That's
Let's
what we're
literally
doing.
go pee.
Yes.
It wasn't Tom Brady saying, "We're still here."
And we're
Go.
on to the
Go.
restroom. We're on to the bathroom.
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby to get ourselves a treat.
Show starts in 5 minutes.
The sparkling drinks are just dandy. The chocolate bars and the candies. Let's all...
We're happy to have you with us this evening and want you to enjoy every minute of your stay here. And while you relax and stretch, visit our concession where you'll find something to please you. There are ice-cold drinks and many other pleasing treats. Our drinks, satisfying and refreshing. They're so good.
Show starts in 4 minutes. Show starts in 3 minutes.
It's refreshment time, folks.
Taste that beats the others cold. Pepsi pours it on. Taste that beats the others cold. Pepsi pours it on.
Show starts in 2 minutes. Show starts in 1 minute. And now, on with the show.
They call me Big L.A. Big Silly. Big Money. Big Billy. When I'm sliding in the mall.
We are back now. I had to go PPP, and then DDP is here, and I had to explain it to him. It rhymed, so.
It works.
And he smiled. So he's not mad at me.
No.
And I may get a diamond cutter before the segment's over.
I doubt it.
Well, we gotta have you do it
if
to
you're going to
Luigi.
do it, there's a man I want you to do it to, because I need that maneuver performed on this guy right here.
Right through the table?
Yeah,
Yes.
right through the table.
Wait,
Not this
Bill's
table.
tailgate here? What's going on? Why I got to go through a table?
The legendary Dallas Diamond Page, who's
Or Diamond Dallas Page.
Diamond Dallas Page.
that
Why do I
too.
keep saying
I don't
Dallas
know.
Diamond Page?
Hey, what's the matter with you, man?
Damn. I'm a wrestling guy, too.
You're wrestling with
I
this.
was going to live forever. I was shocked when he died.
I did, too. That's how far back I go. Bruno and Gorilla Monsoon
Yeah.
and all those
Sure.
guys.
Larry Zabisco.
Exactly,
I was
man.
raised on all that.
Yeah?
I'm going to be 63 in April.
What school did you come through as far as the wrestling school?
Well,
Did you-
I tried to wrestle when I was like a kid, and it didn't work out for me. And I later would go after managing and color commentating. And I did that in the AWA, and I did it in Florida Championship Wrestling. Dusty Rhodes, took me under his wing.
yeah.
And then when Dusty came back to Ted Turner, his place here in where he ran TBS and World Championship Wrestling, he brought me in as a manager. But I'd only been doing it 5 months, and because of the long hair and the crazy clothes and the rap and the bling and the diamond dolls, they were like, D, you're taking too much attention away from the wrestlers. I said, so what are you telling me? I'm too over the top for professional wrestling? And then to a certain degree as a manager I was. But at 35 and a half, I still had 7 months left of my contract. So I was like, I never got into this business to want to be a manager. I wanted to be a wrestler. So at 35 and a half, I went down there, and people laughed, just flat out laughed in my face, said it was never going to happen, and, they were wrong.
Absolutely, they were wrong. So now you live in Atlanta, and you're doing a lot of stuff. It's not just coincidentally the Super Bowl's here, so you have to be involved because this is your town.
Yeah, but not just that. We just literally signed a partnership with the NFL alumni. Bart Oates sent out a press release to everybody, which was like the coolest thing to ever happen to our company. And we have a lot of really cool things, from being on Shark Tank, and we've done. We had a movie called The Resurrection of Jake the Snake that went huge.
Yeah.
Snake Roberts turning lives around. So we've had some really cool stuff. But this gives me a different chance and a different level of credibility to start working with the guys that I grew up watching and helping them, get their game back, so to speak, because a lot of guys are really beat up and broken down, and I can help them with that.
And you have DDP Yoga, right?
Well, that's it. That's what I do with them.
DDPY, yeah.
DDP.
Yeah.
Do they still do it?
do.
Not
Oh,
me.
yeah.
I
Not
started
me.
doing it 3 months ago. Best decision I ever made in my life.
And a lot of, it's starting to take off a little bit, but one of the reasons why I got literally hundreds of thousands of people who do my program. And, I didn't develop it for yogis. I figured they had all their yoga.
Right.
I developed it for someone like me, because the first 42 years of my life, I'm a guy who wouldn't be caught dead doing yoga.
You'll be both.
But you start wrestling at 35, your career takes off at 40, because that's what mine did in 1996. 97 and 98, I was on top of the world, just signed a multi-million-dollar 3-year deal. Then I blew my back out. I actually ruptured my L4 and L5. I was told by 3 spine specialists, never going to wrestle again. Well, at that time, I would try anything, including yoga. And it really started. I felt the difference the first 3 weeks, but for me, it wasn't giving me everything. So what I did is I combined those yoga positions with rehabilitation techniques. I was rehabbing my back, so I started to use that. But I also have had 2 shoulder surgeries and 2 knee surgeries I've rehabbed back from. So I know a lot about rehab and breaking up scar tissue. So I mixed those 2, added in old school calisthenics, and something I call dynamic resistance, which is literally like, see how my hands are just hanging there? But when I open my fingers wide, see all the muscles that start to pop?
Right.
When you open really wide and then create your own resistance as you're moving, what I learned by accident is every time you flex or engage a muscle, your heart has to beat faster to get the blood to the muscle. So what I created completely by accident, just to heal myself, DDPY is what it's getting known today, or DDP yoga. Kick-ass cardio, dramatically increase your flexibility, strengthen your core at a whole different level with minimal joint impact. And that's the part that Bart Oates, who's the president of the NFL alumni, and my buddy Kyle Richardson, who's the president of the chapter up in Baltimore, like, they got that. They were like, okay, we can help rehab these guys, also get them a cardiovascular workout, because I put a heart rate monitor in my DDP Yoga Now app. The heart rate monitor, Bluetooth, goes right from your chest right to your phone or your iPad, which goes right to your TV. So now you see your heart rate and you know where you are. And I don't want you to work out too hard, but I don't want you to not work out hard enough. And when you get to one of my workouts that's on the app, it tells you how long were you not in your zone, and over your zone. Tell you how many calories you burn. And it gives you a score of points, so we have like a competitive level. Who's working the hardest? That's another way to get these guys who are competitive all their life in the NFL, in college, in high school. Now they'll have another place to be sort of competitive with each other.
So you almost have like a personal trainer live in studio with you, but you also have a class full of people pushing you to compete against them the entire time.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
But you're not doing the sweat stuff and all the other stuff, right?
What do you mean sweat stuff?
Well, they have like yoga and
hot yoga. No, not hot yoga.
Hot yoga.
I don't want to badmouth that, but I can't do it because
you can't breathe.
Yeah, I want to heat my own body up.
Right.
With dynamic resistance, think time under tension. If you're to do like curls, okay, like say you grab 2 5-pound dumbbells, really don't mean anything. Grab 2 45-pound dumbbells. Changes everything. Now you're not just using your buys at all, using your fingers, your wrists, your forearms, your bicep, your shoulders, your traps, your core. If 45 is really heavy for you, now you're using your feet, your quads, your glutes. And again, you can just get rid of those weights and create that weight through, it's called isokinetics. Isometrics would be you standing still and pushing and not moving. That's isometric. Start moving, isokinetic. So it's just too hard for people to remember. So I call it dynamic resistance. When you can get a kick-ass cardiovascular workout while you're breaking up scar tissue, which relieves pain, creates flexibility and youth, and you're strengthening your core at a different level, well, you can start at any level. Like my workouts start off in bed. Like you can't get out of bed, I got 3 workouts for you in bed.
That's awesome.
To help you get out.
When I lived in L.A. and I was much younger, embarrassed, because when you're in your 40s and your 50s, you're thinking, and that's what a lot of guys think, I'm not flexible, plus it looks dumb. But when you go in and you start doing it and you start stretching and getting into, because I have sciatica, when you get in your 60s, and I try to take care of myself, but, I got this right here because that's what happens when you live in Philly and you eat pasta all winter.
That's a wheat belly.
That's a wheat belly. You're absolutely right, it is. Yeah. Now, will that help me? Will the program help me get rid of this? Because I got to get rid of this, man.
Yeah, but you can't out-train a bad diet, bro.
Yeah, you got to change
No, I know that.
Yeah. So what you need to do is
I got to blame her because she cooks pasta all the time.
Well, because you asked for it.
Wait a second. There's another kind of pasta, and one's called tinkyada. It's a brown rice pasta. It tastes better then
It's like Japanese, and it's in a
Right, it's made from a root something.
you talking about the ramen noodles?
no.
But it kind of looks like ramen
Yeah,
noodles,
they're
but
almost
it's
like
white
see-through noodles.
noodles.
Yeah,
it's
You
a
have to rinse them
vermicelli.
first.
Those are, I don't really know. I know what they are,
Those
but
are
I don't
good.
know
Right.
enough.
Yeah, those are good too.
You have to understand, like, I don't eat food organic. Like, people go, oh, yeah, organic this, organic that. Or what your great-grandparents used to call food.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
And, my app program has the workouts from bed to psycho. We have cooking shows, not just recipes and stuff. We show you how to cook it. Motivational Mondays. It's got tracking from your pictures to your weight to your inches. How I did it, but I give you examples of ordinary people doing extraordinary things in their words, how they did it. And the number one thing all over when we work it, it's our mindset.
Absolutely.
It's the way we react, how we adapt, and how we take action. We also control the way we breathe, which pretty much controls all of that. And most people have no idea. I get into all of this in Positively Unstoppable, but that I've ever had with anybody. As important as the DDPY is, as important as the eating plan is, that's 10% of the equation. The 90% is right here. Because if you got it set in your head what you're going to do, how you're going to live, you can do it. And if you say who made that quote famous, Henry Ford. But what the hell did he ever do?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
Not much.
Not
right?
much.
This is great. I want now. How do I get this app? Because I got to
Well,
start. I got to take care of myself. Because
Well-
I used to be. I always took care of myself. I never really got. I'm like 215 now. I need to be like 190 max, and that's all in here. So
I'll turn you all onto the app, and then we'll see who actually really does it. And then we'll come back again a month or 6 weeks from now and see where you're at with it.
absolutely.
Okay.
So how do I get it now? What do I do?
I'll set you up with my daughter Lexi over there.
But
She'll
I'm saying
make
for
sure-
the people listening, they all want it too. It's not just
Okay.
me. This isn't just about me. I mean, unless you
You
want to
just
know
need it the
more,
most.
unless you want to know more about me, but I want it to be about everybody. I want to help all the people, just
That's
like you do.
great.
This isn't just about coming on my stupid show and making me a better human being. It's about making everybody here, well, almost everybody here, a better human being, except this guy,
Luigi.
right? Luigi
Yeah,
right
yeah.
here.
What? I don't understand what the problem is here, Tone.
There's no problem. I'm just joking. Actually, you cut a promo for my show in L.A. years ago. Do we have that?
I do have that.
Let's play that. I want to see if you remember this.
Second to load, I
Tony
don't know
Bruno
why,
as we slide into the night. Good
but now all of a sudden it
God.
won't load.
I got it. I just
We're
heard it.
hearing it. Then we were hearing
What are
you
you
talking
talking about?
over it. Jeez, headset. That doesn't matter. We all heard it. Fix your headset. Play it again.
It's me, DDP, Diamond Dallas Page.
God error. So for anybody who's listening, go to ddpyoga.com. And if you go to the bottom of that page, you will see some of the greatest transformations you guys probably have never seen that video. But I'm going to show you. This is Arthur, day one. Knee braces, back brace, and wraparound canes for 15 years. Could not walk without those.
Oh, yeah.
Now-
Good God, it's right.
Forget the weight loss. That's not what it's about. This guy going from this guy to this guy.
Man.
Wow.
From this
Flexibility now,
to
huh?
this, from this to this.
Wow.
Flexibility
That's
is one thing.
amazing.
Core strength, taking a guy who can't stand up on 2 feet, put him up on 1 foot, and put his foot over his head.
That flexibility would help in my golf game, Tone.
Now, wraparound canes, not just to walk, but run. 1 year in to the program, he's 5'6". He took a picture of his 6'2" son standing on his back.
Man.
Wow.
It's awesome.
Like that's what
That's
DDPY
amazing.
is. If you go to ddpyoga.com, it's all there. And one of the things I did with the Positively Unstoppable, the book, I made a challenge out of it, a Positively Unstoppable challenge. If people go to positivelyunstoppable.com, they can sign up for a transformation. It's only going to be 4 months. It ends on May 31st. It's a physical and mental transformation. How are we going to do the mental? Q&A, questions we have, and an essay. If you got ADD, dyslexia, dictate it to somebody. Get them to write it. What's your story? Whoever has the 2 most inspiring stories, physically and mentally, we're going to fly them here to Atlanta, put them up at the accountability crib, which is a mile from my DDP Yoga Performance Center, and then we're going to film them live, both as they get the chance to win $1 million.
No. Well, I might as well just plan to stay here for another little while because I definitely need the mental. The physical part's not the problem. Breathing, how important the breathing is.
Huge.
And how much you learn how to just to lengthen your breath,
Well,
to get
you
your
know,
breath all the way in.
This thrills me as an older guy growing in what you're doing right now, because people say, well, you can keep wrestling forever. We see a lot of older guys wrestling and coming back.
Sure.
But you're not doing that anymore. You're not going back in the ring, right?
I'll hit a diamond cutter once in a blue moon just to pop. I did it last year just for my buddy Cody Rhodes. He had a big show, and it was a big pay-per-view thing he did. So I just showed. At a point in time, I can grab either one of my foot and stick it over my head and have a conversation with you.
Beautiful.
That's how. But again, I work at it all.
Yeah, the Grand Wizard was his guy, right?
He was one of them, but he could talk. He didn't need anybody to talk for him. His feud with Dusty Rhodes, and he called me, and he said, I just want you to know, brother, you're doing magic things out there. Brother, I got to tell you, D. Handsome Jimmy Valiant, Dusty, they were like my guys.
Yeah.
You know, I love them guys.
Well, we could talk wrestling all day. And your career.
No, we can go into that all
Go
day
back to
long,
the
too.
old Hamburg Fieldhouse.
Yes.
Exactly right,
Yeah.
man. Old school.
Well, right, so are you going to do it, T? Are you going to actually really do it?
I need to do it, yeah.
If he does it,
you
I'll
need to do it. I know you need to do it.
I need to do it.
I'll be within 10 feet
Come
of this
on, you
gentleman.
seen any of these other radio guys around here? I'm 66.
Hey, dude, I'm not saying to bed, but that belly's got to go.
It's got to go.
I
You're
hear you,
absolutely
dude.
right, man.
Because that's when you start
Thank
putting
you.
the fat there, it goes into your
I know.
organs.
I used to get all kinds of chicks.
You need that for a drop. That belly's got to go.
Yeah, that belly's got to go. Oh, you think I'm not already getting
that? Is going to be
that belly's got to go.
Thank you.
It's an honor, sir. Thank you so much for coming on. It's great to see you, man.
Hey, thanks for having me on, guys.
And he even did a liner for me back in the day.
And how about the superstar Billy Graham impression?
That was good.
Spot on.
I know. It was. Harry, your knowledge is really,
I'm
really
telling
good.
you, I was at the Hamburg Fieldhouse in 1978, and I saw Superstar take Chief Jay Strongbow outside the ring and hit him with a
Did he have a
jug of
foreign
water.
object?
No, it's a
When
jug
you
of
pulled it
water.
out, I love this foreign object. They pull it out of the trunks, the ref isn't watching, boom, and then you put it back in, and you never saw any ball.
no.
I miss that.
Oh, it's great.
The best one, no one ever saw, the referee never saw anyone undoing the turnbuckle. Right. What are you talking about? What?
All right, we have to go
referee.
because we have other guests. But I could talk all day, man. It's great to see you. Thank you so much.
Diamond Dallas.
I'll be back to see if you're actually doing my program.
You better be.
I need that kind of motivation.
That's
You've motivated
right.
me.
Now you put him on the spot.
Exactly.
There
I'll
you
weigh
go.
myself. I'll send you a picture, and then we'll continue the process.
Well, tell you this
app
wasn't
does
$1 million.
all that. The app does it all.
Beautiful. So I don't even have to come down to Atlanta and see you again.
You wouldn't really have to.
But I want. What if I want to?
Well, you can.
Okay. Thank you. Let's give him a roaring round of applause.
Now he's got to go.
I know. I got to go too. It's a prostate thing, but it's. Thanks so much.
That belly's got to go. Is the one thing.
Oh, that was phenomenal.
That will be played like every 10 seconds.
Yes.
I'll
We have
make
to
sure
go.
I will.
I got to bring more friends on because this is a friend reunion time.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, we're both on Medicare. You're not on
Say
Medicare
what?
yet.
Okay. Okay. All right.
We're doing some live
All right.
photo time right now, so hang on
I'm
a
saying
second.
hi to Leslie because I haven't seen her, and I have to hug her. And then another guy who I haven't seen, but I don't want to
Schlereth just
hug
walked
him.
in, too.
Hi,
I know.
Leslie. Hi, guys.
Hi,
Ladies
Leslie.
and gentlemen, one of my favorite people on earth. I'm not just saying it because I'm saying it. You know I mean it.
I
The
do.
great Leslie Visser, ladies and gentlemen. Put your hands together. When you talk about female icons in sports, there's a lot of women in sports now. I mean, you can't turn on any local or national sports show without seeing the impact of women. And when you think of, I'm not saying like Stone Age, we're talking like 20, 30 years ago. Right,
45 now, Tony.
No, it's not 45.
It's my 35th Super Bowl, yes. And when I covered, I was the first woman to cover the NFL as a beat, and they had no ladies' rooms because there were no other ladies.
Exactly.
So, and when I covered the Patriots, they were not the gold standard that they are now.
Right.
So I would sit in the press box, like 1st and 10 on their own 20, and I'd say, can I get down the elevator across the field to go to the one restroom and get back before they punted, which, as you know, they punted rather quickly and rather regularly. So I was like Usain Bolt.
Was that at the old Schaefer Stadium?
Yes.
It was.
Sullivan Stadium?
Yes,
Yeah.
and it was, Bob Kraft bought the team in 1971, and he had sat in the bleachers. He was just a guy,
Right.
now.
And I was at ESPN in that era when Bob Kraft was like using Hartford, Connecticut to try to get a new stadium
Leverage.
built. You remember that? They had the mock-up of what it's going to be. It's going to be in downtown Hartford, and the people in New England went crazy, and they were going to still call it the New England Patriots, but they would be in Hartford, and that went that went away really
Well,
fast.
you know what's ironic about the Patriots fan base? How unbelievable is it that now the Patriots are so good they're hated? I mean, when I covered them, Billy Sullivan owned the team, and he said, "Don't turn down the bedspreads on the road because that would cost an extra $10." But their fan base, they have more season ticket holders from Providence, from Rhode Island. They're actually closer.
That's
down
close
in
to Foxborough,
Yeah, so it's unusual that they are really a New England team.
Well, not only is Leslie Visser here, one of my great friends, but a guy who used to be my friend off and on every once in a while. And I'm one of the few people who can still call him Stink without getting Diamond Cutter dropped on him by Diamond Dallas Page. Mark Schlereth, former great with your Denver Broncos, most notably.
And the Redskins,
and
too.
the Redskins,
Yeah,
but most
started
notably.
out with their Skins.
No, you're more Denver or Washington. How do you?
I split it up 6-6. But here's the amazing thing about the Patriots is the Patriots fans think their history started in 2000. They think the league started in 2000.
Right.
Like, you forgot that from 60 to 2000, you guys sucked. But
Exactly.
yeah, but I tell you what, I love the greatness that they're on. I love the run that they're on. I marvel at what they've been able to accomplish. And the thing I marvel most about is that they're not sated by their success.
Right.
They still just like Tom Brady and Bill Belichick just grind.
Yeah.
And that to me is the most amazing thing. The human nature is once you've had some success, you're too busy patting yourself on the back to keep working. And that's the amazing thing about
And
what
they're
they've
the
been
only
on.
two constants. I mean, you look at all the cast. It doesn't matter who goes or who comes. They're always good. The consistency is unheard of.
I think one of the things that's interesting to me is that Tom Brady, today's player, and I don't mean to be get off my lawn guy, but I talk to GMs across the board working with Fox and doing games, and they're like, you wouldn't believe the changes. Like agents are calling, my guy can't play, my guy can't practice, this, that, and the other. And you have to own. And guess what? You're Tom Brady. You're getting
is attributable to the fact that he didn't come in being the guy. He was behind Bledsoe. He had a good career at Michigan, but he wasn't a, big
I think it's
diva
more
draft pick.
I think it's more what Tony alluded to. I think it's the stability of the franchise more than where he was drafted. Like you look at Popovich and Duncan. You look at Joe Torre with the core four, and they were all superstars. So I think it's just very few teams have that stability over 2 decades, and that to me is, I mean, can you guys argue? I think they're the greatest dynasty in the history of sports.
I agree. In this era, especially.
Well, yeah,
sure. Remember, it's the Niner era and the Cowboy era. There
and
was
the
no
Steeler.
And the Steelers. There was no salary cap, so you kept guys. And the guys wanted to stay because you would keep them and you didn't worry about paying them to make them happy.
Well, yeah.
That old chain went out the window, so it's even harder now to maintain that consistency.
And like the old Redskins would hide him on injured reserve.
Exactly.
You know,
well,
you remember that an all-star team on injured reserve.
We had guys that would fall out of the ceiling tiles. Like, it was literally like, man, I've never seen that dude.
Who was your great trainer? Remember, he'd always walk around with the
Bubba Tyer?
Yeah, for you to soak in the tub.
Yeah,
he always was trying to get you guys.
I'm telling you what, and you're 100% right. This is what always fascinates me about people who are mad at New England because they said they cheated, you know? Like, if you don't think that every NFL team isn't trying to circumvent the rules, then you are naive. Like, all of us try to get an advantage. We all try to get through that stuff. So some of the things that they're accused of, I'm like, boy, that's brilliant. I wish my teams would have thought of that. You know, I'm like, I'm in with you guys.
Hey,
they're just amazing.
Would you remember Mike Haynes?
Oh, yeah,
sure.
Well, I remember he was exactly with the Patriots as he was with the Raiders. And so when the Hall of Fame came, I think only in baseball do they split the hat. Like, do you think of yourself as much as a Redskin as you do a Bronco?
Well, I cut my teeth with the Redskins, and so that's where I learned how to be a professional. But it's funny, when you come into that organization, man, we had, Monty Coleman and Art Monk and Darryl Green, and we had Gary Clark and Charles Mann and Russ Grimm and and Joe Jacoby, and so
the Hogs,
right?
Hogs.
I rolled in there, Jeff Bostic, and I was taught the right way to be a football player, to prepare and to study and stuff. So I was just one of the guys on the team. When I got to Denver, I took on a different role. I became one of those guys teaching the young guys how to be professionals and how to play this game the right way. And so I have more of I think I feel more like a Bronco, because my career was at the end when I was there. It was my last 6 years, and I had more of an effect on the young players where I was being affected by the older players when I came into Washington.
Did you have Joe Bugle in both?
Joe Bugle with my first year with the Skins. I mean, I'm so fortunate. I had my coaches. My college coach was a guy by the name of Dan Cazzetto, who was phenomenal. My professional coaches were Joe Bugle, should be a Hall of Fame offensive line coach.
Yep.
Jim Hannafin should be a Hall of Fame offensive line coach, and Alex Gibbs, Hall of Fame offensive line coach. I mean, I was coached by some of the best that have ever done it.
How'd you like to go up against Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh on Sunday?
And I said this earlier, I would pray for both of them to be sick, and I'm not like permanently. I'm not an animal, not permanently sick, but just to have the flu.
The 48-hour flu,
right?
Yeah,
and here's the deal. You know, I mean, I just saw Warren Sapp over there. I played against Warren. I played against LT. I played against Reggie White. I'll never forget breaking the huddle because you move Reggie White up and down the line of scrimmage, right? So your back is to the defense. And we call a play, and we break, ready, break. And you turn around, and all of a sudden, Reggie White's lined up over me. And I'm like, what the hell did I do to deserve that? I didn't do anything. I'm like raising my hand, like they're drawing a straw. And so you're just like, I got to weather this storm one time. Because if I get my ass whipped here, he's going to line up here every like he's going up and down the line of scrimmage trying to find the weak link, Right. Like, I got to stud up on this one play.
But then wouldn't he help you up and say, God bless you?
Yeah, oh, absolutely. He drove you crazy. But those type of guys, to me, protection and keeping your quarterback clean is all about the way you call the game. And so it really is not just all the offensive line, but the quarterback getting rid of the ball, and the running backs in the flat, and the tight ends, and it's all that, and it's the play caller giving you an opportunity in passing situations to be aggressive, to at least make somebody think that this could be a run. And one of the things we used to do with LT or any of those great legends that I talked about, we used to always attack them in the running game. We'd run at them. I want you to stop your feet and have to make a play. And then when we get to that point and we're hitting you with double teams, and then all of a sudden a fullback's hitting you, and then all of a sudden, it's a tight end whamming you from one side or the opposite side, and you have to defend all those things. One, it slows you down. Two, it makes you stop your feet. And now all of a sudden in a pass play, I've got a 5-step drop with no hitches, but I know I can be aggressive. If I upkick you in that situation, you have to, because you've been defending the run, you have to honor that for a split second. And if I get you stop your feet for a split second, I win. And so that's how you protect against those type of guys. Easier said than done.
You're making me want to go get up and hit somebody.
Right.
Do you know,
I need some eye black, Tony.
One time when I went out to do a story on Mark, as you know, he's had 45 surgeries or whatever, and honest to God, he had a little bag of bone chips from his knee.
Oh, yes.
One of them.
Yeah. All right, I know. Listen, we could talk all day. I love talking to Leslie and Mark, and I respect you. We work together. I've been on your podcast. You've been on my podcast. So we're all like family here. But what you guys are doing here is not just spitting great knowledge. And I'm the, by the way, go get off my lawn guy now, not you.
Right, yeah.
But you're starting to get there.
Yeah, I'm still there.
But you guys are doing great work with Wounded Warriors, and your brother Chris has been amazing, and we've done games with them over the years with Kenny Mayne and Ron Jaworski and all these guys who do it, not just at the Super Bowl, but all over the country. And you guys are here, and you're doing a lot of stuff with Wounded Warriors as well.
Do you know, I did a story for CBS when the Wounded Warriors played on Veterans Day in Lambeau. And you should have seen all the players. I'm sure, Mark, you would have been the same way. All the players came out early at halftime to see them. It's so profound. Like, we all think we've had a tough day, and then these guys come back from Iraq or Afghanistan without legs, and we just can't do enough for veterans.
So there you have an event here at Super Bowl week, right?
Correct. Yeah, it's later in the week. And have you played in one yet?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't it powerful?
It's unbelievable, the sacrifices that are made so that we can come here on Radio Row and spit knowledge, right? Or talk about the game that we love. I mean, I love this game, and this game to a degree has been under attack, and it bothers me. But professional football has given me so much more than it's ever taken, and I love the game, and I love the opportunities it gives you to be with those guys, and you understand what true heroism is all about, and that's what makes the difference.
I played in a bunch of them, and I still see the guys. I saw a couple of them last night.
Yeah, B.J. Gannum's here.
Exactly, and they thank me, and I'm like, thank me?
Right.
I'm just out there having fun. You guys did this to make this possible so that I can go out there and appreciate you right there on the same field. I mean, I'm not worthy to be on the field with those guys.
Well, Rich Gannum was telling me that he had to slow up a little bit because, of course, it'd be like, whoa, air it out. There's the goal line, and these guys would have to be going down in the wheelchairs, 1,000. But I have to tell you, my favorite thing is, I'm a born, bred, and bled Red Sox fan. Mark's son just signed with the Red Sox.
Is that right?
No, really?
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations, man.
Yeah.
Did he get a gigantic signing bonus, like 6-figure, 7-figure signing bonus?
No, he got. Hey, be glad to put your a pin to this piece of paper, and good luck to you. We hope it works out. Yeah, he's had some injuries over the last 6 years, and he's still grinding. I'm so proud of him, man. He just there's no quitting that kid.
So you took him, you steered him away from football, or did he play multiple sports?
No, I mean, he was a lefty that could throw in the mid-90s in high school. So I mean, you're like, your odds of you playing at 5'10" and a half.
Schlereth and Leslie Visser. Soon. I just had one.
Oh, okay.
Leslie was just asking me when I get another bathroom break, but I'm here.
Oh, yeah.
You're running a tight
I'm taking
ship
that super beta prostate stuff. That's what I take. No, I'm not taking any of that stuff.
Are you?
How fun is this now? How fun is this, Harry? It's stuff with DDP.
Yeah.
Everybody that we talk to, I mean, it's just fun. Mark Schlereth talking Hogs, talking Denver Broncos.
But I remember, first Leslie Visser with that the Brent Musburger show.
Absolutely,
right?
the NFL
show
Today on CBS.
with Irv Cross and Jimmy the Greek and Phyllis George, and he'd always go to her, and she'd always be at the biggest of games.
Absolutely.
On the sideline.
A pioneer,
usually wearing
really.
like a really cool hat or something.
Yeah. And we talk about legends in this business, and a lot of younger people weren't around to see Leslie Visser or Brent Musburger and Irv Cross, or Leigh Steinberg, or any of these people. No, they've seen Leigh Steinberg because he's always omnipresent. It doesn't matter what era you're talking about, whether you're talking about the Troy Aikman Cowboy Dynasty era, whether you're talking about now the new Dynasty era, of Patrick Mahomes. There's one man and one man alone who brings this talent to us every single year. The great Leigh Steinberg. Leigh, how are you, pal?
I'm doing great, Tony. I'll be doing even better if I get a rim shot.
Well, we got a rim shot always ready.
I got you.
He's the only guest that would ever come on and request rim shots.
You got to earn a rim shot, but Leigh can.
Lee doesn't know. Lee gets a free pass. He gets as many rim shots as he wants.
Do you have the other one too?
No, I don't.
Oh, you don't.
I have a professionally done one.
I know.
Like Greg Smitty Smith, who used to be on the Tonight Show. There it is.
That's a good
one. He came in studio and did a whole series of live rim shots.
I'm just going to put it on repeat. Just run the entire thing.
We see you every year, and Leigh Steinberg. Now, when you were here, did you have your party at the aquarium? Because I know, what aquarium was it that you did one of the league? That was the Houston Aquarium years ago, not this past Super Bowl, but the one way back.
We used the Natural History Museum here the last time. The Ray Lewis time.
The Ray Lewis Super Bowl, yes.
Yeah. And another time we used the Fox.
I got it.
It was called the
I'm going to make sure your mic's all right there. It should be okay. There we go.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, we got to get a little closer, Leigh. With so much background noise, we got you all the way up, and I just got to make sure a little closer.
Can you pretend like you're at Yankee Stadium and you're the great voice? Who is the voice?
What, John Sterling or something?
No, the PA announcer.
Oh, yeah, I forget his name.
Yes. Legendary PA announcer.
Shepard. Bob
Shepard, that's right.
Goodness gracious!
So I'm sorry, Leigh. I cut you. So you're talking about all the great Leigh Steinberg Super Bowl parties. San Diego, because we look up and we see all these banners. And San Diego, you had it at the zoo. I remember that. That was one of the great parties. And it's unfortunate that San Diego's out of the mix, but they don't have a team or a stadium that can support it, unfortunately.
That's true, but there were a triple party. It was snowing.
Yep.
And it was I was just at Ohio State in Columbus yesterday teaching Eddie George's class, and it was snowing. I mean, it was ugly.
Breaking news, we don't all live in Southern California, and it even gets cold there sometimes. Come on, Leigh, you know that. It's the Midwest. It's the middle of winter. What are you expecting at Ohio State? The cherry blossoms to be blooming?
One can only hope.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Leigh Steinberg, and of course, 2 years ago when we were in Houston, you brought the young man to the table, and we all watched, and we talked to him before. We talked to him on the air. We talked to his mom, his family. We knew his dad. And you said, watch this kid. And you were dead on, because you could see it the first moment you meet him, that he wasn't just a great athlete, because we saw his tapes, but he had everything up here to set foot immediately on an NFL field and belong. And now Patrick Mahomes is, without a doubt, the biggest emerging young superstar in the league.
The interesting thing is this is only his first year of starting.
Right.
So if you can imagine the great adjustment to defensive players that move much more rapidly, to schemes that you've never seen before. So the field is not all that clear. He told me it got progressively clearer as the year goes on. So think about this. You haven't really seen anything yet,
right?
Because he's going to get much better.
He's nowhere near his peak.
No, he isn't, because he'll read defenses. He has an interesting aspect. He's got an eidetic memory, meaning that he can remember photographically virtually every play he's ever done since he first played football, which means that he can remember and not make the same mistake again.
So he's sort of like Sean McVay. Because evidently he's remembered every play he's ever called.
They have exactly the same brain. And Patrick's a wonderful kid. We're doing a charitable foundation, number 15 in the Mahomies. He was brought up really well. And just in a couple weeks, you'll be able to buy Mahomes Magic Crunch.
Oh, really?
Yes,
wow.
in stores across America.
Merchandising. Merchandising.
Yes, it's well. We kept it very low key the first year. Didn't want him on any billboards. The second year, kept him off television, kept him off ads, and the rest of it. But we've quietly done a ton of deals, and you'll start to see them emerge now.
I want to see him 24/7. I don't want to see. I don't want to see when I turn on the TV late at night the big hurt Frank Thomas selling,
Nugenics.
Nugenics. I want to see. Listen, Frank Thomas is a great player, a Hall of Famer, but we're not going to see Patrick Mahomes doing those kinds of ads at 2 in the morning, right?
No. No, what you have, Tony, is you have product categories. So you can do one in automotive, one in breakfast cereal, one in these different groups.
Soft drink, you got to get a soft drink sponsor, right? Whether it's Sprite or Pepsi or Coke or whatever. It's got to be the biggest and the best.
So we've got Hunt's and Avocare and a great bank and Panini and Adidas and but again, the mantra I gave him every game was stay in process, meaning tune out everything extraneous and just stay in the moment, which he's done an outstanding job of doing. He's not really consumed by this raise in branding and everything that's happened around him. He's just focused on getting the team to the Super Bowl.
It's similar to the way Nick Foles, who's obviously an older player, gets himself ready for every game. Every play is different. You don't look at the time. You don't look at the clock. You don't realize it's 3rd and 15. You just go out and run the play and stay focused. And that's what you see in Patrick Mahomes. He knows exactly what to do. And if he has to run out and make some plays and make an unbelievable throw, he has this total field in focus. And that's amazing because there's been a lot of great young quarterbacks coming into the league. This kid is super special.
He benefited from the fact that Alex Smith was a very kind mentor to him. I had Steve Young behind Joe Montana. Joe was challenged by Steve. He wasn't doing him any favors. But he had that. I think it's a great thing for virtually any young quarterback because you learn how to be a player and you have a chance to assimilate, the offense.
Persona and how much of his persona and command can you attribute to growing up with a professional athlete as his father? And you're just sort of showing him how to do it.
A lot.
Yeah.
And that's a really perceptive question because the reality is he was at 5 and 6 years old taking fielding with Derek Jeter. He was around it. He saw the work that goes in behind the scenes. He understood the discipline and the price you have to pay. He also learned how not to get too high or too low, how to stay engaged in the moment. And he got great values from his mom, and he got great athletic values. His godfather is LaTroy Hawkins, who pitched for 21 years, and he's been a mentor also. So he's surrounded by, a tremendous family and great mentors.
He was with some of those Twins teams,
yes,
right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes, he was. Now he works for the Twins.
The great Leigh Steinberg, and the party's coming up. It's not just about the party. I mean, it's a great party. And trust me, I would talk to you even if you didn't have. If you ended the parties tomorrow, you would still be my friend forever, Lee. Because we
Tony,
go back.
We go back. Matter of fact, if we gave you a stripe for every party, you know,
I'd be a 5-star general.
It wouldn't fit on that shirt.
So now every year you got another class of young players who are
Yes.
going to get into the NFL draft.
Yes.
Who do you have for us this year? And I'm sure they're going to be at your event on Saturday, right?
They will. And we're giving humanitarian awards, so
Right.
you'll see Mark Davis will get one, not for moving the team, but for what he does philanthropically and the coach of the Bears. And, we got a virtual reality exhibit that'll blow you away. It's called MVP Virtual Reality, and you can be Patrick Mahomes. You can put on the same.
Can I get the headband first and then the helmet?
Yes.
I want to do that. That'd be a good look on me.
With
I
the
think.
hair, too.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't have the hair. I'd just have the headband, so I'd look like Patrick Mahomes. Except I'd have to shave, though, and I don't want to do that yet.
No, but the whole challenge has been to get fans closer into the actual visceral experience, and you see the defensive lineman in this VR coming at you. You see the changes in defense, and they give you a ball, and we'll see what you can do with it.
Can I take a sack, though, if I don't make the right play? Do I get hit hard, and is there a flag thrown for roughing the passer, even if they don't rough me?
I may sack you right now. Rim shot.
Wait,
Yeah,
where's the
rim shot.
now.
That's
There it
there
is.
it is.
Thank you.
I can't even see my board without my glasses. We still have thin optics, Lee, and we gave them to you last year. We still have some left. You need any
boy.
new ones?
Yes.
Robin has them. Robin will give you a couple pairs
The answer to your question, which
of the guys that you have coming in this year.
is David Sills, who's a wide receiver
West
from
Virginia.
West Virginia,
Yep.
and he's like 6'4". He was the one, if you remember, who his father did a letter of commitment to USC when he was 12 as a quarterback.
Oh, I remember. Yes,
That's right.
And then a running back from Memphis named Darrell Henderson, who you're going to see rise. And
Do the
then-
Eagles? Are the Eagles going to get a running back? Because I mean, all the good guys left, and Jay Ajayi got hurt, so
Right.
I don't know what his future is.
Yeah, Blunt was moved on to Detroit.
Exactly.
There are a number of them in this draft. And then Marvell Tell, who's a USC safety. So we did a modified draft this year just because the response to Mahomes has been overwhelming, and it's like having 3 clients.
Exactly. Well, Lee, it's always great to see you. Your son, your organization does a great job. We even talked to people who used to work for you who still love you.
Yeah, I actually mentored a whole generation.
I know.
of agents. And
David Meltzer, I mean, we had him on. I mean, so many people have been, we talk about the coaching trees.
Right.
There's the Leigh Steinberg tree of successful people who have worked with him and around him and now against him in some cases.
I'll tell you one I just saw today. The head of Showtime Sports was my intern, the president of Showtime
Oh,
Sports.
yeah, I don't know him.
Yeah. Steve Espinoza.
Beautiful. Well, Lee, you are a legend, sir, and that's what we have on the show. And then we have guys like Harry and Luigi on, but they're just. Now, Harry's my former partner in Philly when we did local radio, and he's great.
Wow.
He knows his stuff. And then we're mentoring the young Luigi here, who's
So I'm
You're
just.
a rude guy. I'm trying very hard, and you're being rude.
So I am elevating a Philadelphia attorney, Chris Cabot, to be president of our organization.
No.
So
A Philadelphia lawyer? You sure you want to go there?
everything is Philadelphia to him. Gunpowder was invented there, the printing press, opposable thumbs.
Exactly. And Tony Bruno, of course. Which
Yes.
is,
That's it.
all right, I know we got to go, because Robin's giving me the wrap-up signal.
Well, I'm getting it from the fabulous Matt Steinberg, who is trying to get his dad to go on to the
Matt's
next
like
place.
giving me the wrap. So Matt's like telling Robin to wrap me up instead of him coming over
See how
and giving me
it's a
one of these.
trickle-down effect.
It is.
Yes.
Matt, I think Matt's too embarrassed to say, "Will you shut up and let my dad go somewhere else?"
I taught Matt delegation.
Right.
No.
exactly.
He actually said, I said, I'm sorry, we were trying to do the wrap-up. He goes, I know, my dad talks a lot.
Why do you think he's so successful?
You know why? Because he's got a lot to say.
Exactly.
Rodney Dangerfield, no respect.
No respect
That's
at all.
right.
Lee, we'll see you Saturday. Thank you so much. Always great to see
you
you.
kindly.
And there it is, one last one for good measure. And that one was with with authority.
With emphasis, Tony.
Like a Shaq dunk.
Right.
With authority.
Yeah, now, Harry has to run as well because he's doing another show. And in just a few minutes,
what's going to happen?
Fabulous.
Michael Irvin?
Yes.
Michael Irvin's coming on the show?
So
I know him. I know him.
So we're going to take a break?
Yeah, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with Michael Irvin. We're going to actually start a new stream.
And I love the streams.
Yes.
Not only
Start
Michael
a clean
Irvin.
stream. So anybody that's hanging in there right now, even though we've been having some bandwidth problems, as long as you're subscribed, you'll get notification. But just find the new video as soon as it pops up.
Playmaker, Warren Moon.
Can we thank Harry for joining us?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Let's
man,
give
this
him
has
a
been
roaring
great.
round of applause.
This
Applause.
flew by. It's just like one after another.
That's crazy.
It's like the airport, Atlanta Hartsfield International.
Right, yeah.
It's a runway, and they're constantly coming in, man.
Diamond
and then,
Dallas Page,
boom.
followed by Leigh Steinberg.
And Luigi is the most fortunate because we had all the guests backed up, he could not apply the diamond cutter to Luigi Curto as advertised.
Hits just keep on
I
coming.
know. I wanted to see it just once.
Yeah, but
live.
see,
You're going to see it live on your head.
Right. Yeah. He knows how to use the diamond cutter, too.
No, he does.
Yes.
Right.
But now you're on the hook for DDP.
Yeah, because
I am
before
on
you
the
start
hook.
doing anything diamond cutter-ish, that belly's got to go, all right?
No, you're right about that. No. I could do a
Wait,
simulated
what
one.
is going to happen if you do not follow the protocol between? But I have a good feeling between the Bill Romanowski meal plan,
Shakes, yep, and the meal plan,
and the Diamond Dallas Page yoga program.
Mm-hmm.
I think you and I are both going to.
No, I need to get flexible. That's the hardest part of getting old.
And we have Jim Ross here right now to tell us exactly what's going to happen when Tony goes to see DDP again after 1 month of not completing the app.
I come to see a man get his ass whipped.
And then just give me one more, which is the long wrestling thing. I'm going to have some tequila and some
because later on at night we're going to go to dinner with Stone Cold.
Yes, and we're going to have.
Ordered a jalapeno burger, a chicken fried steak sandwich, a chili cheese dog with extra onions, French fries, tater tots, washed it down with 1 beer, 2 beers, 3 beers, a shot of whiskey, a margarita, and a Bloody Mary.
Ooh, yeah! All right, Robin's got to pee now, especially after
we all
got
to pee.
And we cannot be late.
I know.
For Michael, so
I know we're not.
We gotta go.
Let's take a break. We'll
All
be
right,
right back.
I gotta
Just stay
go.
with us.
3 minutes till showtime. Why not add to your enjoyment with a delicious confection and drink at our attractive refreshment stand?